Welcome to the home of the DIY movement, where we build stuff and paint things.
All right, y'all, welcome back. Today's Saturday, August 22nd, 2026. It's 8:30 in the morning, almost 9. 93 degrees so far, man. It's supposed to be a really hot one today. Back on the 63, flying solo, where we last left off. Trunk gutters, let me show you guys those if you missed them. All the way around, and they're in a rattle can self-etch primer. Today's project, center trunk pan. Right now it's just sitting in there. It's kind of jammed in there actually, but you can see it's not flush. So we're going to get that out. We're going to trim the old trunk so that this thing fits nice and easy, and we're going to spot weld, tack weld it in place. I'm going to show you guys how to do that. We're also going to be adding these little things right here. We got 2 of them. One here and one on the passenger side. It correlates with this little hole right here for the little rubber bumper, which I have. So we're going to be mocking all that up. I also have trunk gutter weather strip and dual antennas. So we're going to be drilling the holes for 63, 64 dual antennas. I'm going to be using a template that I actually offer on the website. It's 20 bucks shipped to your house, man. Shipping that is like $6 out of that. So obviously I'm not getting rich on these templates, but just trying to help you guys out. So we're gonna be laying the template down, drilling 2 holes for the antennas where they would normally go. Gonna test fit those while we're in this stage. We definitely want to do that before paint, of course. And lastly, I think we have to transfer the gas tank strap brackets from the old trunk pan. They're still under there, to the new trunk pan, so we're going to be doing that. And then probably do a little miscellaneous spot welding around the wheel lips. I know there's some stuff that's not finished off yet, so real easy. Kind of easy day. I think we'll be done by lunch. And then we're going to move to the front, do a little project up front so that I can get this thing kind of rolling on its own again. But yeah, as far as the center trunk pan, you know, I was thinking about this the other day. It's like, this thing is just going to sit in place, right? So it doesn't need to be completely welded all the way around or anything like that. We're going to drill holes. And we're going to plug weld it to the trunk floor. You can also use panel bond. I was thinking about that. I've never used panel bond, but this would be a good application for that because, like I say, it's not an outside panel. It's not a structural panel. You know, chances are nothing heavy is going to be put in there. Maybe a cooler at the most, ice chest. But you can do panel bond if you don't have a welder. So we're going to go about this with the spot welds. So let me get set up. We got to get this thing out. Well, first we got to lift it up. We have to mark our spots for our gas tank brackets, strap brackets on the new pan, and then get this out, trim to fit. Boom, boom. I think we'll be done before lunch, man. So let's get going. So here we are marking where these brackets are going to transfer over to the new pan. They pretty much correlate with the bracing that's on the upper trunk shelf. You can see the factory welded that one on crooked. So these things are not that critical because all it is a bolt that hangs in and that has plenty of movement. So you can see it correlates with the bracing all the way straight down. Next up is getting this trunk pan out of there. It was pretty much jammed in there, so I just used a floor jack and a 2x4. Get some pressure and it came right out. After that, we're going to mark our cuts. So we used some tape that was halfway effective because, you know, the thing is so dirty the tape barely stuck, but we just run a little tape line to kind of give us an idea of where our cut's going to be. You're going to want to make your cut pretty much right where the drop off is, where the bend is, you know, where it goes from horizontal to vertical, so that your trunk pan's going to sit in there the most, you know, flush that it can. So we ran our tape line and then we used paint pen to mark it and then made a cut. Here we are marking our cut. Like I say, I don't know why they cut the trunk pan the way they did. They must use a jigsaw maybe or something, but really trunk pan could have been repaired at the time that this was done. Here we are making our cut. We're just using a cutoff wheel and a grinder. It goes pretty quick. It's pretty aggressive. It's way faster than using a die grinder on the air. And for something like this, the cut, you want it precise, but it's not like we're butting up two panels together. So this project is pretty easy. I think anybody can do it at home if they want, or if they at least try. Here we are fitting the trunk after our cut. We want to make sure that it sits as flush as possible and easy to get in and out without being in a bind. But really the key takeaway is to making sure it sits flush. That way you can get a good plug weld. So we're just test fitting all around. It looks pretty good, so we're going to pop this thing out. And here we are drilling holes for our spot welds. So I found that drilling them or welding it in the corner is where the panel, the trunk pan is flushest or most flush to the trunk floor. Try and do them to the side. The ridges in the trunk floor, you're not going to get a good weld because it's not sitting flush. So I know on the 61, I think we did it on the sides. That was a few years ago. But here we are. You can see we just put two holes in each corner, and then we wallowed the holes out a little bit with a step-up bit so we can get a bigger weld. Here we are cutting the gas tank brackets off of the old, what was left of the old trunk shelf. And I thought it was strange how, the passenger side was welded on pretty crooked, man, from the factory. So just goes to show that this doesn't have to be a precise thing. It's pretty much going to work no matter where you put these things, as long as you get them in the general vicinity. So, while I was cutting these things, I was wondering how am I going to get this bracket separated from the original trunk pan. And, after looking at it, I was like, well, really, there's no reason to separate it. If you try and separate it, you're going to turn into a mangled mess. And right now it's 2 layers of metal, so it's actually thicker. So it's probably a 1/16 of an inch, which is good. So you can get a good weld. And I'm looking at them here and I'm like, I'm just going to roll with it like this. There's no need to try and separate these things and mangle them. So they're pretty stout, and they're reusable for sure. There's no need to buy a new one. So I'm going to go ahead and run with this. We're drilling out spot welds, or we're drilling out where we're going to spot weld, I should say. 4 holes on each. 4 holes on each side. So there's 8 welds holding the gas tank. I was a little concerned about getting a good burn in, because with the gas tank full, that's a significant amount of weight. You don't want those welds to snap. So that was another reason why I went ahead and didn't separate them. So we got a good thick piece of metal, and we got a good thick piece of metal on the trunk pan there. So what I'm doing here is mocking them up and using paint pen to see where we're going to weld, and then we're going to grind off the E-coat where we weld using the Milwaukee M12 with 36 grit. Makes quick work of the E-coat, and so we get good clean metal. What I decided to do was, because I was concerned that if I put these brackets on, that maybe I can't get the thing on, can't get it in the car. The alternative would be to put the pan in and then weld the brackets under the car, but you're welding kind of upside down and get a much better weld laying flat. So I just tacked them on, then I test fit the trunk pan, which is what we're doing here. So these things are just welded on with one tack. I want to make sure that I can get this thing in and out before I go and weld them all up. So let's see, fits like a glove, and we're ready to move forward. So welding this thing on auto set, the Miller 211 on a 220 volt auto set, and it's doing a good job, man. These things are burning in real good penetration on the other side. And so like I say, 4 welds, 8 welds on each. So this thing ain't going nowhere.
Here we are finishing up the weld. Like I say, actually I'm using 023 wire on this, so we're just making things happen over here. I'm sure that's not the proper way. I'm not a welder by trade. We're just getting it done with what we got. So we're using 023 wire. Here we are, showing the fit. Plenty of clearance. Brackets are on. Just rattle can self etch. Once this thing is on the rotisserie, we're going to go around with that with seam sealer and cover up, you know, where the new meets the old, and make it look nice. That's when we got the car sideways and we can work on it, especially without the frame. Right now the frame is in the way, obviously. So good fit, dropped right in place. Everything's looking good. And we're welding it in. So like I say, 2 in each corner. Actually, you could probably stand in this thing and put your foot on it and get it close if you had to, but luckily I had a big enough clamp to reach in and get it done. So thing definitely ain't coming out. And like I say in the intro, there's not really a whole lot of weight. Here I am using the weight of my foot to kind of bring that down a little bit while we weld it up. End up cleaning up the welds with the M12 36 grit, knocked it down real quick. We're ready to roll. Here is the finished product. Like I say, good penetration on the inside, covered up with rattle can for now. We're going to have this thing sandblasted, go through that whole process. If you made it this far in the video, we're going to do a giveaway. We haven't done a giveaway in a while. So if you guys have been watching the channel or following this build, the first person that can comment on what I got this car for, price-wise, we said it in a previous video, I'll send you something. So go ahead and leave a comment below. Like I say, the first one with the right answer, I'm going to send you something totally free, shipping included, a real giveaway.
All right, y'all, so it's the next morning. The audio for my little outro yesterday didn't record any of the audio, so I came out here to wrap it up. Finish the trunk pan, finish the little trunk bumper brackets, I guess you can call it. And we also drilled the antenna holes. I'll show you in a second. So when we got this car, it didn't have the torsion bars. The center trunk pan was wonky. It didn't have the antenna holes. These weren't welded up, the coves. So we've done all that, you know, in the last 2 weeks, a little bit here and there. So I would call the back half of the car done as far as welding work. We're going to be moving forward. I think next up on the list is the gas door. It needs a little bit of work, mainly the hardware stripped. And then we're going to be moving forward to the firewall. So yesterday I was able to get this thing off the lift. I'm going to take you guys around in a second here, show you what I had to come up with to move this car, because the steering was real wonky. That's what I call the car. But anyways, you guys saw it. So overall, this job took, I was done by lunch. I was done by about 1. And overall, it went pretty straightforward, man. So like I said in the intro, you can use panel bond if you have a way to clamp it, or perhaps put something heavy on it to, you know, seal it good. We just got it in the rattle can etch primer, weld through zinc primer, whatever you want to call it for now, until we get it all sandblasted. So sandblasting is definitely on the list. I did put the trunk weather strip, and the gutter is a little bit too wide. You can see it has some play. So when it comes time, we're going to have to use some adhesive for the trunk weather strip. Some areas are nice and tight, but some are a little loose, mainly the sides. So I guess that's kind of expected. Little weather strip adhesive will fix that problem. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, man. I'll take y'all for a walk around. lastly, like I say, next up is the firewall. That's why I got it here. That Miller-Matic welds a whole lot better on 220 than it does on 110. So I already got some plates for the firewall. You guys can check it out on the website. But I'm going to be videoing that and how to install it and stuff like that. So front clips coming off, molded firewall, and then I don't know, probably get the fenders mocked up good, and then and see what we got, and then eventually take it off the frame, put it on the body cart, start the whole sandblast and you know, bare metal thing. So you guys stay tuned for the next one. We're going to be shaving the firewall.